Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are here with Sanjeev Gupta, CPA. Obviously, the tax time is over, so you can see he's relaxing at this point. So that's good. Although I'm sure there are many people who have not filed taxes. Now, Sanjeevji, you've been saying on radio as well as on our interviews for a while that the business folks should hold on from filing their tax return. Is that still the case, or is that has changed?
I will still suggest to hold on to tax return if possible. Reason again is the same. We are waiting for a lot of clarity from federal IRS and also from the state. In California, we have franchise tax board. Now, people will be wondering here what type of clarity. So the answer to that question will depend upon what is the nature of activity that you have in your organization. If you are a business owner, we are still waiting for clarity from the franchise tax board. If you get a PPP loan, of course, FTB has come back, the franchise tax board, which is the California State Tax Authority. Franchise tax board has come up and said, if you get, if you use that loan money for payroll expense and other things, and you get a forgiven, your loan gets forgiven next year, not in the year of when the loan is given. You can, and there's a drop in revenue by more than 25% in one quarter as compared to the 2019, then you can take the deduction. Now, what happens? The question that remains is what happens if the loan is not fully forgiven? What happens with that? Second, what happens if the loan is fully forgiven, but whether to reduce expenses? What expenses? Is there any form on the California return? Uh, or if we have, or we have to add this as income, or we can do in the previous year, means 2020, if it's forgiven 2021, can we take in 2020 forgiven, or we can take in 21 forgiven? So, and what is the relationship on the balance sheet? How do we show on the balance sheet those items? So still confusion exists relating to those areas. With the federal confusion exists relating to the basis computation. So if you're S corporation, of course they have come out and said if a PPP loan is fully forgiven, you can increase the basis calculation, use a tax-free basis for the S corporation shareholders, LLC members. But the question that arises here is what happens if it's not fully forgiven? Or still people are looking into second PPP loan and they're using it, and the rules are not clear with respect to the period for forgiveness. They have said 8 weeks, between 8 to 24 weeks. So we don't know what rules can come up uh, changing that. Maybe they will come out and say PP2 forgiven expenses will not be allowed if the economy picks up. We don't know yet all those factors. So it's important that if you're a business owner, you have PPP loan. Definitely, you have to be really careful with respect to other things, how to show it on the tax returns. So I will suggest, with pending this clarity, of course, we have done a lot of returns. We have done a lot of returns from for our clients based upon our understanding of what the rule says, but still the clarity still is missing. So it's based on our understanding, but the rules are still complex in that area. So if you can hold on for more times, and Biden plan, infrastructure plans, and everything is also coming up soon. So things are complex this year. So we have to wait for more clarity.
So help me understand this. Why should I care about Biden's infrastructure plan? I mean, that's a massive plan that's going to be impacting, I would think, big businesses. Like as a small business owner, should I be worried?
Yes, of course. Infrastructure plans is affecting everyone, every taxpayer, whether it's individual taxpayer, business taxpayer, state planners, everybody. So if you're an individual tax filer, you have to worry about increasing tax rate because they are saying that if you make highest money, more than half a million to 1 million plus, your tax bracket will increase from 37% to 39.6%, and that's the increase. And then capital gains tax rate is going to become long term. Long term capital gains will become short term. So they're taking out that beneficial tax, long term tax capital rate of 15 to 20% to increase it to maybe around 33%. So that's going to impact for people making a lot of money and having a lot of capital gains. Inheritance tax, if you pass on wealth to somebody, right now you can pass on wealth at fair market value to the beneficiaries. taking out that regulations. So you will not be passing on at fair market value, you will passing on the cost basis of that wealth to the beneficiary. And then AMT tax, he wants to increase that AMT for individual tax filers. For business tax filers, he's looking at corporate taxes, increasing the corporate tax from 21% to 28% for C corporation. And he wants to look at a loophole of the S corporation and the LLC passing on tax-free wealth to individual tax filers. We know that if you are a S corporation, you don't pay tax at a federal level. All profit goes to individual taxes, and you pay tax, and that income gets added to other income, and you pay tax there. But what he's saying is he's looking at finding ways to have some kind of taxes and not just tax-free transfers to as to the individual taxes. How far he will be successful? This is a very big question. The main question that do come up is, will it impact 2020 taxes or will it go 2021? So the answer to that question will depend upon how quickly they can negotiate this deal. Uh, there was a scare last 2 weeks back when my client called and said, hey, President Biden is saying we want to increase the long-term capital gains rate this year. Okay, that might happen. That might happen if they are able to negotiate a deal by end of June or July. They might say, okay, from this week on, from this year, from this day on, or from this period on, the capital gains rate will be like this. So that might happen. So if they can negotiate faster deal, it can happen for this year. If they negotiate in the later part of the year, let's say August, September, October, then it will take it from next year. So things are really complex, and we're still waiting for infrastructure plans. Biden plans, he's trying to push it a lot. And remember, one more thing is American Rescue Plan. So that changed a lot of scenarios for people, individual tax filers and business tax filers. For individual tax filers, we have the child tax credit. You can get the child tax credit in advance payment from the month of July, depending upon your income levels, of course. And then there is the child and dependent care credit increase, and then premium tax credit increase. So American Rescue Plan is a huge plan that was passed. So it is still impacting. Now, if you remember, a lot of provision were there relating to unemployment compensation. A lot of states are giving back that unemployment benefit that they got from federal. That's a welcome relief because people now businesses are getting open. COVID is under control. Looks like might go up too. It depends. But businesses need people. The restaurant would need people to come in. Hotels need people to come in. Grocery stores, gas stations, retail businesses, even office businesses. They need people. And so I think, yeah, if you can get people on start working, that will really be helping the overall economic situation.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're getting there for sure. I mean, when I'm walking around, I don't see that many people wearing masks anymore. I see people being more comfortable. People are getting together, playing together. I have clients who are calling that, okay, yeah, we are starting to get back to office. Maybe not full time, so that's definitely a trend. Not every company is going full time in office. It looks like a lot of companies are choosing a hybrid model where some people work from home, some people come to office. Basically depends upon what works for them. So for sure I'm seeing that is happening, except we still have issue with the other countries. US is a country where a lot of people come every single year. I mean, look at our airports, right? And most of the other countries are still not vaccinated, so we still don't know what will be the impact of that on our community. It's yet to be known, right? Because vaccinated people haven't been exposed to that just yet. But good news is, looks like cases in India are trending down now, so that's a big relief. Hopefully, that would be over soon. There are some rumors that they are expecting even third wave to hit anytime soon as well. So that is still a
The
situation.
month of August, which I'm hearing there will be a third wave. See, the waves will come and go. Is how you protect yourself, how you keep your environment clean, how you protect others. That's going to be the important thing to keep this COVID virus under control. Uh, that's what I think. That's important.
I think uh, once this pandemic is over, I think it will leave us with a lot of great habits. Washing our hands more often. Sneezing properly.
Watching others sneezing around.
you know so so hopefully we'll become a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more better. um, and hopefully things will be over. So anyhow, that's all the questions I have, Sanjeevji, for you for today. So that's great. Um, any We don't know exactly when this voting will happen and when we will get to hear more about this plan that is being proposed by Biden here. If that will ever materialize, or do we?
It will materialize because that's the plan. He's pushing it, and has set a deadline for negotiating with the Republicans by end of this month. If it does not go through, then he will go full with Democrats and see how things goes out. But in his heart, he wants to push it, and he will push it because he looks at it as a way to generate jobs and revenue. And by the way, one more thing happening with that is a lot of money is being put to the IRS. So uh, one news article I was reading, it says that about 84,000 IRS agents are being
Hard.
are being looking to get hired this year, and special budget about $1.3 billion might be just huge, might be assigned to the IRS because Janet Yellen is a Treasury Secretary, and she wants more money to go to the Treasury Department, and IRS is a very important area, and so you can see a lot of control being exercised. And whatever people have used money from a PPP, uh, from SBA, state bank, small business administration grants, and local counties grants, city grants, and there will be some kind of oversight control exercise, and there might be more chances of audits going forward. So we have to be really cautious what we do.
Sanjeevji, I like to stay optimistic that things will always work out at the end. I'm that kind of guy. But the way I'm hearing all this information, and I'm no, I'm not smarter than Biden. I'm sure he got a lot of wisdom, and he arrived at his conclusion by spending years in politics, and knows a lot more than I do. But my feelings hearing all these plans seems like Biden is setting this country up for recession. Seems like he wants corporations to shut down. He wants companies to move out of the country. He wants people to stop investing in the stock market. I mean, that's how I'm reading all these signals.
Yes, signals are there. It's more about control, exercising some kind of control so that it does not go out of hand. Um, of course, it's a political differences that we have with two parties, major parties, Republicans and Democrats. That's how they think. Republicans wants to give money more in the hands of the business owners so they can expand and grow and maintain and build jobs. In case of Democrats, more in the hands of the small business, small like workers and small business owners so that they can get some money and they can spend that money and grow the economy. So it's more of a political differences between the two parties that we have, and we can see those differences when President Clinton was there and President Bush was there. So, and it's more highlighted with Trump. Well, of course, President Trump, the differences were glaring. It's out of control for even for a lot of Republicans. But yes, but that's what the thing is. But what we have to do as a business owner, we have to make sure that President Biden is here. This wants more control. It's not that you should be fearful, but at the same time, be cautious in booking expenses, doing the correct things, trying to not to manipulate too much, and keep your books accurate, and always do the right thing. So uh, it's always important. It has been important. If you do that, then there's no need to worry.
So there you go, friends. That's all the questions I have for Sanjeev ji. But as you heard him, if you're not sure if you're doing things correctly, or you still have a question that, hey, what should I do with that particular entry, or how should I structure my taxes for this year or next year, this is an awesome time for tax consultation. This is the time when you want to plan your taxes, right? So now, luckily, we have a free webinar coming up next month. So please join that. It's in July. It's absolutely free, no cost. Anybody from anywhere in the country, or for that matter, even if you are doing business in US from outside, we rarely discuss things that are happening outside the US, mostly about in the US. So as long as you're doing business in US or have a tax return filing needs in the US, then it's a great webinar for you to join. So please register for it. Just go to sanjeevcpa.com and you can register there. So once again, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you soon, Sanjeev ji.